What's going on, everybody? Doc here, Average Gamer Guys, back again. More Last Day on Earth action. So a video today, we've done this before. We're going to do it again. So I just want to first off jump in and say thank you so very much for all of the support. Free-to-play series, our other videos, our Max Van video has done fantastic. So if you're coming back from that video and you clicked on it, you liked it, you hit the like button, whatever you did, if you watched it at all, seriously, thank you so much. If you haven't and you're interested to see how important and how valuable the Max Van is for settlement and expedition progress, you should go check it out. It is absolutely fantastic. So I'm just going to say up front, if you end up enjoying Last Day on Earth content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We're still currently marching towards the 1,000 subscriber mark, our first really major milestone, and every subscription counts. It really helps us out. Thank you so much for that. Likes and comments are also great. So I also want to jump into this video and start off. I didn't plan to make this video, but I do think it is an interesting look. I do think it is a unique challenge for Last Day on Earth as it stands on this point, and probably one of the locations we've covered minimally at best, I would say, outside of the regular event that happens every season for this. You can probably tell by my screen, we're headed into Bunker Bravo. I'm going to say a couple of things up front. First and foremost, unless you are truly trying to grind batteries or gas cylinders or carbon composite, I do not recommend doing this location outside of the normal seasonal event. Now, there is a couple of things that you can do while the season event is going on. You have a calendar, you know when it's going to queue. This should have a pretty I believe it has a pretty standard reset. We'll jump in, we'll take a look at it. 2 or 3 days, whatever it ends up being. You can game that a little bit. You can get 2 resets of this location during one seasonal event without using any additional materials, no rations, nothing like that to reset it. If you queue up the bunker before the season event starts, wait till the season event actually starts, go in, clear the location, then wait for your normal timed reset. As long as you time it that it happens sometime during the season event, go back in, rerun the event. You'll be able to get essentially double the rewards with utilizing the bonus. Now, the bonus is here, if you don't or are not familiar, is essentially that you're getting half zombie HP. Weapons are usually more effective, and probably most importantly, you take less radiation damage. That is probably the most impactful thing, although the half zombie HP also allows you to clear through the floors much faster, reduces the required amount of meds, and subsequently is going to help people to survive these things a whole lot longer. Now, there's a few things that you can do, and it's actually arguable if some of this stuff actually is important, but what we're going to do today is we're going to go in, we're going to clear at least the first floor, the second floor of this location. I'm going to talk about a few different things in terms of being able to help. This is also a very resource heavy location if you want to get the best value out of being able to clear this location regularly. But I want to say up front, and again, this is usually almost never, unless you're grinding for those 2 very specific things, is not worth grinding this location regularly for the amount of resources it takes to get it done. Now, there were 2 comments that were posted on a previous video. One that essentially asked for us to run through this was a polite comment. I very much appreciate that. So I wanted to jump in for the user. I don't recall the name. I do apologize up front. But we're going to showcase this for you, and I hope you find this valuable. Again, we'll try to talk through some tips and some things that could probably help, again, if you're trying to grind those specific items. I recognize also that my recommendation to not do this, except during the event, probably shortens your progress, right? It's going to take you or lengthens your progress. I'm sorry. It's going to take you much more time to get the things that you need, whether they be for the ATV, the boat, whatever you're trying to grind for. Only doing it during the season event, only getting, optimized to be able to do it 2 times during that event. More obviously if you're comfortable to use rations. That's going to draw that out. I do recognize that, but it does come around every season. So you can capitalize on that. And again, if you're in a tough spot for resources, that's purely my recommendation. if you have a ton of resources, tons of guns, and you don't care about wasting your stuff, and I say wasting, utilizing a lot of your resources to kill your location just to get some progress, do it. Do it on the reset, fight this location. But again, it is pretty difficult, arguably probably the most difficult location to clear with regularity. I do think there are floors at Port Lab, especially in the hard mode, that are very difficult as well. But again, there's some techniques for there. There's a few less circumstances that you can overcome in Port Lab much easier than you can in Bunker Bravo. So there was also another comment that was made that was just like, you don't have enough stuff to do this. I don't flaunt those things. If you've watched the channel for a while, you know that we are pretty well established. We have lots of things built. We are very much at the end game content. I don't flaunt that stuff. We did do a base walkthrough and overview because that's just not important. That's not helpful. And if you didn't pick up on some of that stuff by the things that we do, I don't know how to help you. But I've said this in a previous video. I truly appreciate all the comments, the feedback. I genuinely mean that. As long as it's constructive, as long as it's made with good intent and isn't just being upset. I recognize I get a lot of comments on raid videos where it's like, you got a really good base here. I wish I could get good bases. I 100% empathize with that. I truly do. But you also got to recognize we run through a lot of raid bases. You know what I mean? And we have taken a long time. It has taken us years to get to the point where we're at. So I just want to say that again up front. Keep grinding. That stuff is going to come around for you. I do understand how frustrating it is, especially if you're limited on resources or you're trying to grind for something. I get it. I truly get it. I will tell you, I have been there. We are there on our free-to-play account. Like, these things are not lost on me. But just, again, be polite on the internet, especially to people you don't actually know. I'm here hopefully providing good content, enjoyable things to watch, hopefully some tips, some tricks that are helpful for you. If they're not, let me know. But I do think they are based on a lot of the comments we get. I also do want to say I do my best to respond to every comment. And, you know, I'm also not somebody that puts up with a ton of negativity. So if you want to leave a lot of that, you may not be a part of the channel. Or at least no one will see you be a part of the channel. Because that's how YouTube works. So you can post whatever you want. And it just won't show up literally for anyone else. So I do want to talk about this really quick. I have all of the mods set up for Bunker Bravo. We have installed everything. We've done everything. I don't specifically remember which one of these there is, but you can see a few of these in terms of what you want to get. I'm going to say that turrets and the alarm system, especially running this not during the event, are amongst two of the best. There's an argument to be made for a lot of them, so we'll talk about what each of them does. But turrets and the alarm system, I believe, is the patrol cancel. Those two things are going to eliminate some of your threats, some things that can very easily kill you, help you to not need as many resources. And the other stuff is good if they're, certainly some of these are a little bit easier, like pumps, and some of the stuff is a little bit easier to get put together. And to have that, it's better to use the two of whatever you can get versus nothing. But again, I do recommend turret and patrol cancel, and that's what we'll probably utilize. Let's talk about supplies here really quick. And this is why this location is so tough. You need well-modified weapons that have good durability and good accuracy, which is good ability to hit consistent shots, essentially running on full auto to clear this location the most effectively. We're also going to run some top-tier armor. We don't want to die here. And there are some pretty specific locations, especially like the first hallway of floor 2 can be a trap. It can be a very bad trap. It can get you trapped in there. You can die. You're going to take a lot of damage. So we're bringing some extra health. The anti-rad, I believe, works. I actually believe this works, but I have seen some conversations about this not actually working. What this does is you take this before you queue in the floor, and it should reduce the total accumulation of radiation that you get over time, for a period of time as you move through the floor. I take these every time. I do think this is important. If you run Port Lab a lot, even just the regular mode and unlock the lockers, you're going to get plenty of these. So this isn't necessarily a scarce resource. as long as you can do a few of those locations. The other key one that you absolutely need to have if you're doing this not during the event is anti-radiation pills. I will tell you, running it during the event, if you move quickly and you have some pretty decently modded weapons, you probably won't use anti-radiation pills. I can clear almost every floor without ever using one of these. What this does is this cleans your radiation, and it also heals you. I believe heals you fully, but I've never gotten really low on health using these, but it will heal through your radiation. The important part for this is it essentially staves off the radiation poisoning that you get, kind of resets that timer, but whatever radiation you are accumulating, you will continue to accumulate at that rate. You can see that down here in this little radiation bubble. That's your protection from radiation. We should see this go up when we take anti-rad. All that stuff being said, these anti-radiation pills are absolutely critical. If we start to take a ton of damage, we'll pop one of these. A lot of times right before the boss fights, if you are starting to accumulate a lot of radiation, we'll hit one of these. We may even throw these in our secondary slot to help us heal, just to make sure we're not going to get killed by getting our radiation ticked down. You can see that on your health bar because you'll start to take an opposite bar of red. That is radiation poisoning that will not heal even using regular normal med kits, bandages, whatever you're using. The only way to get rid of that, clear the floor, and then subsequently your body will process the radiation and it will go away, and you'll be left with just the health loss or hitting these anti-radiation pills. So we're going to run a combination of a couple of different weapons. I'm going to primarily use the AK here. We've got some Uzis. I do like to run a ton of Glocks with some good mods on them. I like the leg shot. I think that's important for a few of these enemies to keep them at bay so we don't take any additional hits. And I also like to have a weapon that I can consistently do damage while essentially just continuously firing, or quickly do taps as we run away. That's important. Our AKs are modded up like this. We do have piercing blow on that. We could probably get away from that. We could go to a different mod if we wanted to. That's just how we have these set up. And then again, our Uzis, everything we have here is fully modded, and it is designed for, again, durability and consistency of fire so that we can get long bursts with these weapons down with hitting as many shots. We do have a handful of shotguns and a SCAR with us as well, with incendiary ammo that we've kept over from the event, and we'll put these to use if we need to do that. One thing you could do on the shotgun that would be relatively helpful here is to do the scatter shot mod, whatever it is, where you do the cone of damage. Although you're not typically going to get a ton of enemies grouped up, but you could get 2 or 3, 4 maybe at the most, and that can be pretty helpful for you. So do consider that. So that's how we're running. We don't have any food. I'm going to jump into this, and we're going to get going. Here's the thing. You can tell what's on each floor. And again, for a lot of the folks, for a lot of why you would be running this, you're going to be running it for level 3 and level 4 batteries. You don't usually need electronics probably, but you might at that, and gas cylinders at floor 4. That's probably where you got to get through. So keep that in mind. Carbon composite is helpful. So let's jump in here, and we're going to do this. We're going to run through, and let's talk about the individual mods that you can have, or the floor, security, energy, safety system things that you can do. Surface rad clearing is not bad. It will get rid of the pools of radiation. This one's not great, in my opinion. I don't think this helps you a whole ton. Ventilation clearance gets rid of the enemies crawling out of the vents. This one is actually not too bad, to be honest with you, because you will run into a handful of enemies. Water pumps essentially removes the water from the floor so you can move through the floor more quickly. Patrol cancel, again, that's the alarm bell. There is a group of enemies that will come out at different stages on the different floors. It's 3 to 5 enemies that will come out and essentially attack you. I personally like this one to get rid of that. During the event, sometimes we'll do opening locks just because, again, enemies have less health. This will open up like a special room on each of the floors with some pretty decent loot. If you're running for certain specific items, you can find some of the tougher to find things behind opening locks, but it's not guaranteed. This is a bit of a gamble. I do recommend if you get this, run this. If you're ever going to run it during the event, during the seasonal event, where you can make use of this and not have to worry about it. I would probably sub opening locks for patrol cancel. And then deactivation for turrets. A lot of these you could probably like run by, and you can do some other methods there where you don't actually have to fight these. I don't like taking that chance personally, so I'm always going to do deactivation of turrets. And here again, I'm going to do patrol cancel for mine. That's how I'm going to set these up. If you choose to do these differently, yeah, you can go with whatever you have. Pick 2 of these if you have any of them open. For me, these are the 2 I'm going to pick, and that's why. All right, so before we get this started, I'm going to pop one of these. You see my radiation defense go up here to 12, so that should help us. We're going to activate the safety system, and we're jumping right in. That's where you got to be careful. Now, again, we're going to try to move through this as quickly as possible. That's the key here. All right, I want to get him down. Stormtrooper's going to do some good damage. That's done. We're going to try not to do this a ton. This would be where the turrets are going to be. And so we just bop those because, again, there's a couple of turrets in here. You'll get kind of poo-pooed on. Acid melters, we want to pay attention to. Toxic spitters as well, because they can cause us some problems. This would be where water pumps would come in handy. The good part with this is this water also slows down the zombies. You can put that to your advantage. Now, again, this is going to slow down your progression. We all hate riot zombies. We all know I hate riot zombies. Opening locks, this is where this would open that up. Vent clearance will come into effect here. We're going to have this guy. Little strategy. He's going to spit at me. We'll step to the side. We'll just burn through him. Riot zombies in this mode are absolutely brutal. You also can't kill the exploders. That's an important note, unlike in some of the other locations. You also have supply going on, which is kind of a sub reason why I decided to do this video, so that I could grab some supplies. So we're a decent way through here. We haven't taken any radiation damage. Hate toxic darters. They'll deal some decent damage. Here's where the patrol cancel is coming in. So you're seeing we're eliminating those 3, which is pretty good. And now you're seeing our radiation jump up pretty significantly. That was a clutch heal. And that's the radiation pools on the ground. We're starting to take some accumulated radiation damage. Back out from this. We're going to have 1 vent clearance up. We have run this location quite a bit, if you can't tell. We're pretty familiar with this. Get to the side and burn them. Okay, here's where I'm going to pop one of these, because I want that. Fetid corpse is going to be a difficult challenge for us. Popping one of these. So it did, I forget what it did, maybe 50 or so health. We're going to open up all of the turkeys. Then we got the big guy. Oh, his damage isn't so bad. We've got really good armor on here. Swap into another AK. shouldn't have too much problem burning this guy down. A lot of health, though. We're going to take some hits. Should be more than good. Boom. Floor 2. Done. Not bad. Not bad. We got 765 points for that overall for our supply event. So that's pretty good. All right. Looking at the time, I think we can try to go in and take down the next floor. We should be good. Now, here's the beautiful part. In between this, it's going to reset. You can see this basically go back down in the green. Radiation is going away. You see that our anti-rad here has worn off at 12. So that is important. You could look to use, and I have tried this out with some different armors. I don't know that you're getting a ton of other protection, but I haven't tested that in a while. So I could be wrong on that. No, don't quote me here. You know, there's a few things that you might be able to do to help with radiation protection. But you can get through it with good weapons. That's the key. The speed of killing the zombombs is the key. That is the key to this. So here is what we're looking at for the floor. Okay. Not bad. This isn't terrible loot. But again, you think about what we burned through. We essentially went through like 4 AKs, portion of a pistol, some heals. Our armor did okay. We didn't take actually a ton of damage, so that wasn't so bad. But was that worth this loot? Probably not. Not in my opinion. Again, 5 carbon composites good. You know, factory parts is cool. Engines, that's nice. Filters are, you know, relatively easy to come by. We'll take this back, I guess. It's just something to consider, which is why, again, almost no one that I have seen would recommend doing these locations outside of the event unless you just really need some of these parts, you're close to some upgrades, whatever the case may be, or you just enjoy a challenge. If you do, that's totally fine. Do this location as often as you want if you have the supplies and materials, but hopefully that was helpful. So we're going to do the same thing here. I will say that on this location, surface rad clearing is probably a little bit, maybe just a little bit more useful. There seems to be a few extra spots of this on this 3rd floor, but again, turrets and patrol cancel will probably save us the most amount of time and resources to be able to get past. And I do think the activation of turrets is absolutely critical in this. Vent clearance, I think, will save maybe 2 enemies on this location. So there's a few things to consider as we go down. But again, we're going to do these 2 before I queue this up. We're going to take this. We're going to get our bonus. Activate. And we're in and rocking. Now, I do not want to get hit by this slasher. And I need to kill this toxic darter. Now, toxic spewers will heal through there. Trying to get these guys killed is critical, because they will keep healing. We do not want that. What do we got here? Probably a riot zombie, of course. Always a riot zombie. Good night. Goodbye. Have a good day. See you later. And we're going to try to keep healed up as best we can. And I don't want to actually lose these AKs, so I'll be swapping these. Here, surface rad clearing will come into effect right there. We're just going to back off from this. Need to be careful here. Gosh, double of these guys is pretty tough. Alright, we got that guy down. We're going to take some damage. Get a little bit of damage from this. Clear here. Fucking riot zombie, man. Slow down, big guy. I don't want to get slashed because I don't want to bleed. We can pen this guy with this. That is one bonus of having this. All right, we're going to go into M16 here. Not preferred. Do not want to get hit with an acid melter, but I have noticed that acid melters, they don't seem to spew as often as they normally would. M16s with some decent mods for distance of being able to shoot is actually also pretty helpful for toxic spewers. You can kind of keep them at bay, so that is kind of nice. Swap into the pistol here a little bit. Stay away from me, please. Not good. Come on. There we go. Whew. All right. All right. Just going to take the shots. Taking a lot of radiation here. I swap into an Uzi, get a pistol on, top up, hit this. We're going to use a few more anti-rad kills here. A lot of toxic darters in this one. I like pistols for the parasites just because that lets us kind of knock these guys out. All right. Should be able to get that guy down. Focused up. Making pretty okay time. This is patrol cancel here. This is good. Get another one of these on. Just gonna stay healed up. Course. Let's get this guy to go boom. Now this boss is going to present a little bit of a challenge because, again, he's going to have full health, so we're going to have to work through that. We're going to have to kill these zombies, so it's good that we prep up here. So I'm going to take another one of these, although I don't know that it's going to matter. I am going to run the Scar here, and probably a fresh pistol makes sense. And we're going to heal up with these. And you're seeing we're taking 2 radiation off the rip here, so this is something that we just have to consider. Now we want to open them up, and then I personally like to try to make sure that we kill the rest of these guys as quickly as we can. Now we'll take some extra radiation damage here. We need to be careful of that. Top up as appropriate. We're gonna get stunned here. It's not ideal. This is the part where this gets a little tough because these guys are gonna delay this significantly for us. Again, we're going to keep hitting these. I hate riot zombies so much. Of course, now he drops the shield. All right. This is going to be a fetid corpse. Stay away from him best we can. He's not too bad. Be able to burn this guy down. Control the pistol shots. Night toxic spewer. Now from here, we should be able to just finish this guy off. And what we can do is we can totally avoid this slasher. So we hit this, run up, and we're out. So that's floor 2 and floor 3. Not so bad, but again, quite a bit of resources, quite a bit of weapons used during the course of this. Now, the cool part for me, I did get supply, so I'm going to be able to showcase that. So that's how we'll wrap this up. I will probably just jump in to record another video. I'm going to run home, grab some additional supplies. We can burn through floor 4. So I'll showcase that here in the next video for you guys and gals to check out. But you can see, again, we use up quite a bit of resources. Our armor did okay because, again, well-modified weapons, able to work through that. We can do this. This location is doable with the right setup of these items. I may try a hazmat set here just to see how much that helps from a radiation perspective down here on the bottom, but we're going to go grab, again, a couple of additional scars and a few additional weapons for us to get ready and prepped up to do this. AKs, in my opinion, are amongst the best. Just if they're well modified, really, really good damage output. They're very consistent for being able to have the shots. Then having a few active mods is very, very helpful for us. But let me showcase really quickly what we got here inside of floor 3. Now, again, if you need car batteries, this is pretty good. We got 4 of these. That's not a small amount of these by any means. So again, if you are trying to come here and grind these, this would be worth it to get here. This is by far the best location to get car batteries. So this is pretty nice. You get a few other good things, you know, springs, again, some factory parts, but the rest of the stuff in here is probably not super worth for the materials that it took to get here. And then again, it's not like you can just go do floor 3. I think this location would be a lot different if you had an opportunity to do that, where you could just jump to whatever floor you wanted, kind of like Bunker Alpha. But you can't. Fortunately, you have to clear these in sequential order, and you have to be able to knock that out. So what I am going to go do, I'll show you here what we got. We got some levels here. I actually had some levels. Let's see if we got through. Oh, we're almost through level 80. So that's pretty cool. So this is worth it for us, at least a little bit in that regard. We already did dog breeder. I haven't hit this, but let's see what extremely rare cargo we're going to get. I'm going to queue this up because I'm curious. We got gunpowder here, which isn't bad. That's there's not bad rewards. There's not bad rewards. I personally am gonna take the steel plates, and the reason is because for the storage, I can stack up a bunch of gunpowder. How this works, if you're unfamiliar, is it will replace any of these yellow things with any of the purple things, and subsequently, as the value increases, it will do that for these items. So if you can get some of the same items, you saw that this jumped up to 8, this jumped up to 7. As you do this event over the next 5-6 days, however long you have it, and you start to stack up rewards, you can be kind of smart with your selection. If you're okay paying the 75 coins to get everything that's in here, I would wait until the very end of the event. You have to do it before the event ends because they will go away. These will store from the previous one, so if you miss them, the next season, this stuff will still come back and will still be here. But you can't stack up some things if you get some consistent rewards. So that's something to consider. It's not too bad. In the future update, I'd love if I got to pick, because I actually would prefer to keep chevrons over some of the other stuff that might be there, even if it's extremely valuable. So do consider that. So I'm going to head out of here just so that I don't get knocked out by hunger and thirst, and we can get back to the base. I hope this was helpful. We'll call this kind of a tutorial of Bunker Bravo a little bit. You know, again, if you have suggestions, if things that you want to see, I want to do my best to provide that and bring that from the channel to you guys and gals so that it's helpful. And again, I do appreciate all the likes, all the comments. I'm going to flash some socials for you. Please very much consider subscribing for me. Again, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers and beyond. We're doing our free-to-play series. If you want to check that out, we're having some great progress there. I'm super excited. I've got I can't tell you enough. I've got a ton of like videos already made up and edited and ready to go. Just trying to space those out. And it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. I've also been having a ton of fun here. Prep up for some more videos here in the future. If you didn't check out the last one, we just did a whole bunch of Bunker Alpha hard mode items to see how many floppies we could get. That was a blast. So trying to do some fun, unique things for you as well. I am starting to work on some guides in addition to that. Probably some beginner guides, some beginner tips, some base building tips, and probably going to be working through some location tips as well. So be on the lookout for that if you need some help with some of those. If there's any specific tips around locations or certain things that you'd like to see, I'd love to hear your comments down below for that stuff as well. And we'll see if we can't put those videos together here pretty soon. So lots more Last Day on Earth content coming to the channel. Again, like, comment, subscribe, help us out. Share these with somebody that you think would enjoy them. And I just appreciate all of you clicking on the video, spending a few minutes of your day with me. But with that, I've been Doc. We are the Average Gamer Guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.